Monday. Hey, it's me again. Starting this journal thing was a great idea. Twilight and I were talking in bed the other night about all the great adventures we go on. Twilight said ponies in the future would be sure to read all about their adventures and friendship, and mine too, since I was also a part of the group, but not a pony. That means my account of the same adventures could be totally different, and I never really thought about that before. So Twilight convinced me to start this journal. Of course, now that I've started this journal, we get a few weeks without anything happening. Go figure. Still, the piece is nice. I hope it lasts. Nothing exciting is happening, but Twilight is still bouncing off the walls. There's a comet that's supposed to be coming this Wednesday night. She will not shut up about it. I love it when Sis gets crazy excited about stuff, but sometimes she geeks out a little bit too hard. I can't blame her, though. Princess Luna and Celestia are planning to stop by. I think she's hoping to impress Luna. She pulled more than a dozen books from the shelves about comets, and she'll read each and every one of them before Wednesday. That's great and all, but just guess who she's gonna get to put them all back on the shelves. Still, it ought to be a lot of fun. It'll be making my special super dragon spice nachos. Every pony says my nachos are to die for, and Rarity always gives the public what they want. So I'm thinking this is the perfect time to try out a new recipe. This is gonna be sweet. Tuesday. Every pony's really excited about the comet tomorrow evening. Apparently, word got out that the princesses will be showing up, so things are getting kinda crazy. So far, we've got a whole bunch of ponies who said they want to swing by. I guess getting to chat up Princess Luna about the stars in the sky is kind of a big deal. I hope I've got enough nachos for every pony. Guest list. So far. Princess Celestia. Princess Luna. Cheerilee. Octavia. Vinyl Scratch. They're having a tiff, according to Rarity. Never mind. Aloe. Lotus. Underlane. Rumble. Rainbow Dash. Scootaloo. Rarity. Sweetie Belle. Apple Bloom. Big Mac. Applejack. She says she's bringing cider. Snips. Pinkie Pie. Fluttershy. Twilight, of course. Berry Punch. Twilight says Berry Punch and Pinkie Pie and Vinyl Scratch are not allowed in the library at the same time. I don't know what that's about. Snails. Zecora. Lyra. Bon Bon. Cranky Doodle Donkey. As if. Mare. I mean, she says she's gonna show up, but something always comes up last minute and she can't make it. Which sucks, because honestly, I think the Mare is pretty fun to hang around. Derpy Hooves. Dr. Hooves. Twist. Nurse Redheart. Gizmo. Diamond Tiara. Silver Spoon. Silk Biceps. I know, right? It's like the entire town wants to show up. I can't really blame them. I guess getting to meet with Princess Luna on a personal level is exciting for some ponies. She doesn't really make a lot of public appearances like Princess Celestia does. I'd be skittish too if I tried to overthrow a kingdom, failed, and still had to live in that kingdom. Twilight says we're not supposed to talk about it. But you can't hurt to write about it, right? Either way, I hope tomorrow turns out to be fun for every pony. Wednesday. So, that went off without a hitch. Who'd have thunk it? The Comet party was a complete success. The turnout was almost exactly as we planned it to be, and the comets were really cool. Best of all, I think the princesses both had a really good time. Princess Luna ended up surrounded by fillies and foals, and she explained space and stars and time. It was really cool. She drew pictures in the sky as if it were a chalkboard, and she told stories of the constellations. I think it was really healing for her, to know so many ponies turned up just so that they might be able to talk to her. And best of all, every pony loved my nachos! Yes! It's a little bit weird, though. Twilight said there was only supposed to be one comet tonight, but instead there were two. We asked Luna about it. She said she had no idea where the second one came from. Twilight started making predictions about how it wasn't a comet at all, And Rainbow Dash said we needed to get in some tinfoil hats so the aliens couldn't read our thoughts. Twilight quit talking about it after that, but I think it was really bothering her. She didn't bring it up again, though. I wonder what it was. Twilight said from the really odd trajectory and surprising appearance, the second meteor would have had to strike quite a few miles outside of town. We might be able to spend a day or so hiking out over there to see if we can find it. It's up near the mountains, so it won't be anytime soon. Maybe a weekend thing, though. I'd like to go. Sounds fun. Thursday. Twilight is sick. I knew something was wrong when she didn't get out of her bed this morning after her alarm went off. She just lied there, yelling at me to get it for her. I figured maybe she spent all night reading up on comets, but she said she didn't. She refused to eat breakfast and just told me she wasn't hungry, but just needed more sleep. That was back when it was morning. It's 1:36 in the afternoon, and she's still in bed. She's claiming she doesn't have any energy. Usually when she's feeling like this, she'll sit up and read in bed, and while I take care of her, she'll go through a stack of books, and I'll bring her more, and eventually she'll get frustrated at the books I leave for her, and end up going to get them for herself. That's how I know she's getting better, and it's usually only taking a few days. Usually. But she's been telling me she hasn't got the energy to even do that. I thought she was energetic. Exaggerating. But I gathered up all the leftovers reading from Wednesday for her, and she hadn't even touched the stack. I hope she gets better soon, because this is sort of freaking me out. I took her temperature, but she isn't running a fever or anything like that. It's a solid 100 degrees. So I hope this is just a bad case of fatigue or something. She does keep mentioning a headache, though. I made her some tea and cleaned up the library a little bit. Nothing too exciting happening today, and I'm thankful for that. It really sucks when Twi is sick. Poor sis. Friday. Something's wrong with Twilight. I'm not sure what it is, but something's going on. I checked on her last night, and she was staring off into space. Like she were completely lost in thought. Sometimes she gets that way when she's studying, but this? This is something different. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. So, even stronger than that, after trying to talk to her, she went right back to sleep as if she hadn't even been awake for any reason. I asked her about it, but she told me she didn't remember doing anything like that. She slept for a few hours, got up, drank some water, and stared off into space again. For 20 minutes. She mumbled something about a headache, and after that, she went back to sleep. Weird. If this keeps up, I'm going to go get Nurse Redheart. Actually, I'm going to get Nurse Redheart tomorrow, period. I'm worried about her. Saturday. Twilight is doing much better today. I was worried there for a moment, but she's up and walking around. She hasn't gone outside or eaten anything, but she's talkative, and that's a good sign. She's got this cough now that seems to have gotten overnight. She says she's not congested, and she doesn't sound congested, so she doesn't know what's causing it. It's this raspy, hissy choke of a cough that alternates between lung-suffering horror and strange clicking sound. Seriously, I've never heard her, or anyone, make a sound like that before. It's mega freaky. Sometimes she goes into these scary fits of non-stop coughing. It sounds like she's trying to hack up a lung. And then she takes a huge breath like she were suffocating. I went to fetch Nurse Redheart, but she wasn't in. She was out making house calls or something. I haven't seen much of her since the party. Twilight's been asking for medical books and symptom guides. I already know where this is going. This is going to be a repeat of the last time she convinced herself she was a psychopath just by reading symptoms from a magazine. Every time Twilight gets her hooves on a book of medicine, she's suddenly dying of everything and anything. She once convinced herself she had a terminal illness after stabbing her hoof on a stone outside. At least this is familiar. After a few days, everything will be back to normal. I'm sure of it. Sunday. Twilight can't stop coughing. It's getting worse. I can hear it wreaking havoc on her lungs, and today she coughed up blood. She says her throat is pretty raw, and I believe her, but this is getting scary. I think we might have to visit Candlelight General if this keeps up. She tells me she doesn't need to go to the hospital for something like this. It's just a cold, but I don't think it is. She's getting paler. I mean, less purple, you know? Like a faded purple? I heard her earlier this morning, coughing from the kitchen. It's this raspy, guttering cough like she were a smoker, but there's this strange clicking sound to it too. Like a long hiss of a cough, with little clicks intermittent. I'm thinking I might go and visit Zecora, but I don't want to leave Twilight by herself. She's complaining more and more about a headache. She says it's right at the base of her horn, like a magic buildup, but it doesn't feel the same. I don't know what she's talking about, but the more I hear, the more I really want to go see what Zecora has to say. I tried to visit Nurse Redheart, but there's a line around her building. I think there's something going around,